All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. I'm Catherine Snyder, and we're here in Lafayette, Colorado. Center for Spiritual Living is an organization that teaches that each of us is a divine being. What we say and we think matters, and we try to teach the tools and ways of being that can really help you transform yourself, and through that, transform the world. We start each one of these talks with a type of prayer that we call affirmative prayer. Jim Shink is going to pray for us today. And this isn't about beseeching an outside God or making requests to an outside God, but it's about bringing that divinity within yourself forward and bringing what you bringing what you want forward and having it manifest in your life. So, Jim, would you go ahead and go?
Did you ask me something?
Yes, Jim, would you go ahead and do our invocation, please?
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay. Close your eyes. Go inside. Get into that personal connection with the spirit, with your spirit, with that little light inside of everybody that is our connection to the divine. We're going to start this day, this very cold day, with joy. With joy, we're going to enjoy this talk, this message that Lara Brzezinski is going to do for us. It will be a wonderful message, and we will embrace it. We will live it. We will enjoy it. We know this is true because what we think manifests our future, manifests our present, and helps us cut loose our past, the past that we regret, the people we're angry with, the world that is in trouble, but we will manifest a better place, a better way to go. And this is true. I know it will be. And I will stop even worrying about it because I know that all good will come to us who believe. Okay, now that you're calm and ready to receive, we want to let it go. Let it be and let it happen. And so I say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you very much, Jim. That was beautiful.
Thank you. You're being kind.
No, it was great. Joy. Bring that joy forward. See. Let's see. Our speaker today is Lara Brzezinski. She's a licensed spiritual practitioner with the Centers for Spiritual Living, provides spiritual guidance sessions, and offers various workshops in on conscious parenting, spirituality in business, healthy relationships, and effective communication. Her passions include her family, skiing, mountain biking, the family pets, and quiet spiritual study. Lara lives to serve others in realizing this day as the best day ever. Thank you very much for speaking to us today, Lara.
And I hear that every time and think, oh, it's time to update that. This year, I'm adopting, let's create our best year yet, right? So a year filled with best day ever and making that a best year yet. So, but thank you for having me. I'm excited. Our talk today is on New Horizons, a process. So last week, Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski talked to us about New Horizons, a vision, and shared with us the power of having a vision and living that vision, and how we become attractive, right? When we're living in that vision of living our best day ever, living our best year ever, of having a beautiful community, and how when we are living the message of the Science of Mind teachings and what we're about, then we become that light that people are attracted to. So becoming that attractive light. And so today it's a talk about the process to get to that vision. And remembering about the process is that it is a process. We don't just get there where we want to go overnight. It takes time, right? Looking back on our lives when we've had momentous celebrations, occasions, things have happened, it took time. And the really big ones take effort. And so it's just that remembering. We're starting a process. And it's going to take iterations, and it's going to take evaluations. And what I like to think about is that story of how many times do we plant a seed and then dig it up thinking, are you growing yet? Are you growing yet? Right? We want to see the fruit, and we haven't even given that little seed a chance to pop up and come out of the ground and grow into a full plant before it produces the fruit. I don't know if any of you remember Frog and Toad from Frog and Toad's Garden, where Toad would say, now seeds start growing. Well, we're going to take a step back, and we are going to allow this process to evolve, and we're going to nurture and give it the sun and the water and the nutrients, and do it really consciously. So we're going to look today at 3 parts to a process. The first, like we talked about, where are we going? What is that vision that we're each seeing and we're collectively seeing? What is it that we want to be creating? What kind of an attractive container do we want to have evolve? There's a book by David Campbell that says, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. And that's true of life. We're always ending up somewhere else. The question is, are we going there by intention? Are we going there by design? Or are we going there by accident? And sometimes it's okay to just allow spirit to come through. We want to consciously create with spirit and not just end up somewhere else. And then the second part of the process we'll talk about is, where are we right now? It's so valuable to take stock of where you are individually and where you are as a community to be able to grow from there. And then the third part is that process, the path that's going to take us from where we are right now to where we would love to end up. And does this sound familiar? I mean, it should. Anytime we go on a destination, right? And we pull out our GPS, usually the first thing people put in is the destination, where you want to get to. And then the second part that the GPS wants to know is, where are you starting from? Now, mine has a tendency to just automatically assume it's from where I am right now. And sometimes, yeah, we want to start from somewhere else, but chances are good starting from right here and going to right there. There's lots of ways to get there. And we can put it in the hands of the GPS and just take me the fastest route. Or we can be creative and we can be involved in that process. So when we look at how this applies to our own lives, and as Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley as a community, right? It's both and. We have to start with ourselves, and also we want to start with, where do we want to go? If we were to take a vacation and I asked one of you, where do you want to go? And let's just say the response was somewhere warm right now, warmer than here. It's a pretty broad destination. And somewhere warm is going to mean something different for everyone. One of you might be thinking, Arizona would be really nice right now. Me, I'm like, Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii. Two very different destinations and very different paths to get there. But they both fit the warm, right? So that part of this process for this community is to get clear. Where do we want to go? What do we desire to create? What kind of a container would we love? What kind of a community? And taking the time to get clear so we all know, no, we're not going to Arizona. We're not going to Hawaii. We are creating this wonderful community. And the other thing about thinking about a destination and between where we are and where we're going, there are mile markers along the way. So we might have this beautiful, wonderful vision, and everyone's like, wow, that's incredible. Right now, that seems impossible. Right. Mile High didn't get to be that amazing, wonderful community where it was overnight. It's been over 50 years where they went from the community center or the vote center to the, actually started in the room in a vacuum store to where they are now, right? They had different milestones, mile markers. So we want to start with that big picture, but then, okay, what would be a really good mile marker that feels comfortable that we can start building towards? Again, it's being clear. Where do you want to go? What is it that as a community we desire to create? I love Ernest Holmes says, true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is fire from heaven. When we can get clear on that powerful vision, that's the fire that will be in each one of us to say, yes, this is how I can participate. This is how I want to show up. This is how I want to support this vision coming to life. This is the fire within me that I will bring. And again, getting clear. One of you might say, oh, I would love a healthy community. And healthy community is going to mean something different to each person. It might be, oh, vibrant and growing and full of young people. Healthy community might be, wow, we have a solid group of regulars who come and it's this many people. And then we keep attracting. So getting clear on all of those aspects of where you want to go, what that container is going to look like, the big vision, that one that everyone says that BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal that might be 15, 20 years down the road. But what would a good goal in a year look like? What is the community, what is it comprised of? What kinds of people? What kinds of activities? And again, going back to, there are a lot of different perspectives on what this vision is. And it also goes back to the individual. What is my vision for my role in this community? Do I just want to show up and someone else is taking care of it because I've been carrying it for so long? Or do I love being an active participant in the creation, in the greeting people, right? What is my role in this vision? And then bringing this process to your own life, right? We all assume that we're going to wake up tomorrow. We don't know how many tomorrows we have. But how do you want to live out the rest of your tomorrows, separate even from this community? We each have the opportunity to get clear on what would I love in my life? What would I love my participation to be in this new community? And what would I love that new community to look like? And the second part of that is, why does it matter? Why is it even important? And again, it's different for each person. And collectively, why is it important to grow this community back to a thriving, welcoming center for the teachings of the science of mind? Now, I just threw that out there, not saying that's what it is, right? Because maybe that this center wants to be more than just the teachings of the science of mind. Maybe this center wants to stay a teaching chapter and really be focused on the teachings and not so much, I don't know, the in-persons, right? Again, why does it matter? How is it that you want to be affecting people's lives? How do we want to be affecting the community? And that why power is really that fire, that what is going to drive this, the power of the imagination, but the power of the heart combined. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind says the more power one gives to his thought, the more completely he believes that his thought has power, the more power it will have. So again, why it's always important to continue to go back to that vision is drawing the power from that vision and why it matters. So the second part is, where are we right now? Where are you as an individual in your own life? Where are you as an individual, as part of this community, Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley? And where's the community? Taking stock of where you are as far as what it looks like, the people, what you're offering, how people are showing up. It's so powerful to have that location. I'm starting here right now to get to where I want to go, and looking at the resources that are already available. The resources of the individuals, the people, the resources of the years of education, the resources of the years of events and community and offering. There is such a rich history, as Robert was talking about last week, of the thread, the power of heart that has been part of this community, and why this community is still here, and why it is ready to emerge into its next expression. Again, taking stock of the people, what abilities, who is a leader that wants to continue to lead, who is a teacher that can be teaching, right? What are the resources of the individuals, and what are the resources of this community as a whole? Other resources are places, right? There's the United Methodist Church of meeting in person. Pat has her community that has an opportunity to meet in person. What are other physical resources of space, of books, of, can't think of anything else. But again, what are those resources that we already have? And from there, looking ahead, again, in milestones, right? Not to the very end. What are some of the resources that we might need to get ourselves there? So going back to our vacation destination, I've been to warm places. I live in warm places. I know I already have a swimsuit, shorts, shirt. But depending on if I go to Arizona or Hawaii, if I'm going to Hawaii, I'm not going to be looking for a place that is going to take me snorkeling to look at the sea creatures, right? I'm going to be looking at, if I'm going to Arizona, where can I go for a great hike? And so different resources are necessary depending on where we want to go. And just getting in that brainstorming of ideas of what might we need, what might work to attract the types of people, right, coming off of our vision, will help to decide what's next. What's our first step? Other resources to look at: what has worked in the past that we can bring forward and turn into a fresh resource. Maybe it's something that we're offering again that looks the same. Maybe it's something that we're offering, but we're just revising. So what are our resources that we have, and what are some resources that we might need? I love Michael Beckwith, where he says, you can start with nothing, and out of nothing and out of no way, a way will be made. This community is so blessed. It is not starting with nothing. And yet, from that infinite nothingness, that infinite limitless, more ideas will become, and a new way forward will be made. And then part three, the process, the actual process, but this is all the process, is really spending time in steps 1 and 2 to help drive what is that first action that we want to take. Many ideas I'm trusting will come out of what can we do? What do we want this to look like? That there's going to be many opportunities. Well, we could start doing this, and we could begin offering this, and we could show up here. But the question is, what would that first right step be? And the process is about taking those steps, testing things out, seeing what works, and then taking the time to review. How did that feel to everybody involved? Did it feel successful? Did it look successful? What are our measurements of success? And before we just say, well, only one person showed up, it's not successful, tossing it out, looking at the different measurements. Was it our marketing that caused us to only have one? Did it feel really good and we want to do it again? And now we're more inspired and we might invite, share with more people. But taking the time to review, assess, revise, and then re-implement. Repeat your process. Do things more than once, because as you do, you continue to learn and grow. And remember, all of this is that process of all of our lives, right? The more that we test something out, the more we have an opportunity to see, is that going to work? But if we just sit on the sidelines, we'll never know if any of our ideas would work. So implementing. And again, bringing this back to the individual. What can I do? What can I bring? And how does that work for me in my own life? And how would this or the next thing work as me, as part of this community? And it is that process of remembering to go back to the vision, using that vision to inspire, to pull up that fire within, to pull us forward, even when it feels like it doesn't look like it's working. And remembering that it's the doing that the juice of life happens. Ernest Hemingway says, it's good to have an end to a journey towards, but it is the journey that matters in the end. So all of this is life happening. CSL Boulder Valley is happening. It is living and breathing. And with this new vision empowering, being present, staying present to each Sunday, each activity, each gathering, that this is the journey. This is the process. This is CSL Boulder Valley living and breathing. And yes, we have a desire to share this with more people. And this is the beautiful journey of CSL BV in existence. So bringing all of this back into our own lives, it is so important that we take the time to ask ourselves, what do I really want? What would I love to experience? Me as an individual and me as part of Centers for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. And what would I love to see this community evolve into? And why? Right? Why does it matter? For the community, what kind of environment or container would we love to create that inspires people? It draws people to come in and be a part, and also to help in that expansion. And again, why does it matter? Why is it important? For community, for support? Is it for learning, education? Is it for personal expansion? Is it all of these? Is it some of these? Getting clear so that each person involved has their own powerful why and can tap into that collective why. Getting clear on your destination gives you a much greater chance of reaching it. Figuring out where you are right now, what resources, experience, skills, talents you already have, and then what else might you need to get yourself there. And again, remembering you don't have to see the top of the ladder. You just have to take that first step. Testing out old things, testing out new things, testing out old things with a new flair, right? All of it can work. Implement, take action, review, reassess, redirect, re-implement, repeat. And as Ernest Holmes reminds us, I live in a faith that there is a presence and a power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. And I know that this presence is all knowing and all power and is always right where I am. So begin today right where you each are, as individuals and as a community, right here with this beautiful, energized, passionate vision for where you want to go. And you are already on your way. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you very much, Lara. Wow. I am the juice of life. It's the journey that matters in the end. Beautiful. I mean, a lot. And let's see, one other thing. I wrote it. This is the fire within me that I will bring. I love that. Now, before we go in, I stop the recording and we go into our discussion. I do want to remind us all that at the Centers for Spiritual Living, we believe that one gives for one receives nourishment and inspiration. So if you found value in the message, if you want to contribute to our work, feel moved to make a donation of any size, please make a love offering at cslbouldervalley.org/donate. And if you're watching this recording later and want to be part of our conversation, which we very much enjoy, you can find the Zoom link on our website, cslbouldervalley.org. We meet on Sunday mornings online via Zoom, the first, the third, and the fifth Sundays, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So we hope to see you there. Right, stopping the recording and we're going to start discussing.